You're born in Rome, some years before a guy named Jesus is born in Bethlehem. Congratulations, you're not just another baby swaddled in wool, you're imperial blood. Which means you don't just belong to your mother or even your father, you belong to Rome. Forget wood and lullabies. Your crib is carved marble, guarded night and day by slaves who'd rather die than let a fly perch on you. Senators and generals visit to pinch your cheeks and mutter prayers, not because they love you, but because someday you might decide if they live or die. Cute, right? Your father is the emperor, which means every morning you wake up inside a palace that's both a gilded nursery and a cage. Marble halls echo with senators' footsteps. Guards line every corridor. The Praetorian Guard, those polished thugs and don't protect you from danger, they remind you of it. Every visitor, every banquet, every whispered conversation in the corners of the palace carries the same undertone. One day, this will all be his. Lucky you, you're 10 years old when you realize childhood is a luxury you'll never get. By the time most Roman kids are playing in muddy alleys, you're standing rigid beside your father at ceremonies. The forum isn't a playground. It's your stage. While plebes chase pigs through the street, you're expected to sit still as foreign kings bow to you like you actually matter. And while other children chase hoops in the street, you chase Latin declensions, Greek philosophy, and the art of not crying when a rhetorician calls you stupid. Congratulations! You're not being raised as a child, you're being raised as an heir, and tutors swarm you like flies. Philosophers, grammarians, orators, you're forced to master both Greek and Latin so perfectly that if you mispronounce one syllable, a senator will smirk and scribble it in the margins of history. You practice speeches in front of mirrors until your throat aches. You spar with wooden swords until your arms give out. You kneel through ceremonies until your knees scream. This isn't childhood. This is a rehearsal, and the audience is restless. Every time your father smiles at you in public, eyes narrow in the Senate. Every time you stand beside him during a triumphal procession, someone in the crowd mutters that Rome doesn't need another boy emperor. And in the shadows, daggers always get sharpened. Rumors thicken, conspiracies, poisonings, plots. You pretend not to hear, but you do. Everyone does. Even your father looks over his shoulder too often these days. At night, while tutors drone on about duty and destiny, you already know the truth. Your life is a countdown, and when that dagger finally finds your father, Rome won't ask if you're ready. They'll shove the purple cloak onto your shoulders and call you emperor. Childhood ends with an assassination, and the worst part? You're starting to believe that your destiny isn't waiting for you. It's already wrapped around your throat. You're 16 when your world changes forever. It starts the way it always does. Whispers in the corridors. Praetorians shifting uneasily. Senators looking a little too polite at dinner. Your father still plays the part of Rome's god on earth, but even you can see it. The paranoia, the sudden silence, the wine tasters working overtime. Then, one night, it happens. Your father, the emperor, war hero, the man who smiled to you only in public, doesn't walk out of his chamber. The guards do, holding the kind of silence that says don't ask. Poison, daggers, illness, doesn't matter. The details blur. After all, Rome runs on rumor. The only truth is that your father is dead and you don't even get to grieve. Before the body's cold, the Senate gathers. The Praetorian Guard marches in with a smug that says, "We decide who lives." And suddenly, every eye turns to you. Congratulations, you've just been promoted to emperor. You're still a teenager. You haven't even kissed a girl, and now you're supposed to kiss the imperial seal. They drape the purple cloak around your shoulders. It feels less like silk and more like a shroud. The laurel crown digs into your scalp, heavy and cold. You stand in front of the Senate, a room full of old men who all secretly think they could do the job better than you, and you give your first speech. Your voice cracks. Half the senators smirk. The other half size you up like livestock. But none of that matters because Rome doesn't care about you. Rome only cares that the throne isn't empty. So you smile, pretend you're not shaking, and accept the cheers of a crowd already wondering how long before someone murders you too. But you ignore the negatives. After all, you're officially the ruler of Rome, the most powerful man alive. At least, that's what the marble statues and coin engravings say. Reality. You're the world's most important hostage. The Senate smiles and praises your wisdom. Behind closed doors, they debate how gullible you are and which general to marry your sister to for leverage. The Praetorian Guard swears eternal loyalty, which really means pay us in gold or we'll stab you in the back. Even the people cheer your name in the forum. But they were the same mouths that chanted Ave Caesar and also chant Death to the tyrant the moment bread runs out. Your every move is stage managed. Want to take a walk? 10 guards shadow you, protecting you. But really, they're just reporting back to who you talked to. Want to pass a law? Good luck. The Senate will filibuster you into madness until you've greased the right palms. Want to trust someone? Terrible idea. Half your friends are spies, the other half are future conspirators. And the paranoia? Oh, it's endless. Every banquet, every goblet of wine, every slice of figs could be poisoned. Your taster drinks first. You watch his eyes, you start watching everyone's eyes. And if this keeps up, you'll soon be flinching at shadows. So you lean into the theater of it. You ride in triumphal processions like your father once did. You sit on a golden throne during circus games while gladiators split skulls for your amusement. You host banquets with roasted peacocks and rivers of wine. You act like a god. Because if you don't play the part, you won't live long enough to regret it. And yet, every night it nods at you. You're not ruling Rome. Rome is ruling you. The Senate, the army, the mob, even your own family, each pulling a string, turning you into their puppet. You're not an emperor. You're a prize everyone's fighting over. And deep down, you know how these stories end. Few years pass and you turn 25. You thought you could just mind your business and the empire would leave you alone. Well, you thought wrong. First, the Senate tells you that you need an heir, that an emperor cannot be unmarried at 25. You call their bluff, telling them there's no such law. The next day, the Senate tries to pass such a law. It fails. Just when you thought you were done with that saga, the captain of your guard tells you how sad it would be to die without an heir. You're shocked. You know he's threatening you. You just never expected him to be this direct. But then you realize that these were the same guards that killed your father. So you give in. But you vow to use your marriage to gain allies. You get married to the daughter of your father's fiercest political rival. You believe he had a hand in your father's murder, but you just can't prove it. Everyone believes you've run mad. They ask how you could ally with a man your father disliked. But in Rome, a young emperor would take every backing he can. You've gained an ally and lost an enemy. You've just killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Your marriage proves to be good for everyone. For your rival, he's now got imperial backing. For the guards, they get paid for giving you good advice. For you, it gives you political backing and gets the Senate off your back. At least for now. A year later, you welcome a son. He reminds you of your younger self. You fear what the empire will do to him. So you show him love. You take him everywhere. You even give him the title of Caesar, which means he's next in line to the throne. You dream of leaving him a greater Rome than the one you got, something your father never did for you. So you cooperate with your father-in-law to be a better emperor. You use him to keep the Senate in check. You pay the guard handsomely. You tighten the treasury and tell yourself you would outlast the whispers. You tell yourself you'll beat the odds. But the whispers soon turn into knives. You are 35 when Rome turns on you. Your son gets poisoned and dies, or fever, depending on which liar you ask. Your allies fall one by one, always betrayed, always conveniently accused of treason. Each new trial ends the same way. Executions, exiles, confiscations. Your father-in-law goes first. The evidence is airtight. Not because of the sophistry of your enemies, but because it's true. You wonder why Rome has forsaken you, till you find out why. A new rival, a general, has risen, and it seems he's coming for your throne. And now every soldier in Rome looks at you with fake smiles and murder behind their eyes. You could lay low, but you want revenge. You try to find out who is directly behind your son's death, but you find nothing. So you stop waiting for daggers in the dark and start swinging first. You let the delators, the professional informants, run wild. They denounce senators, generals, even old friends. You try to slander the upstart, but it goes nowhere. The general is squeaky clean. The treasury swells with seized estates and the prison's overflown. You sleep a little easier until you realize every denunciation could turn back on you. You realize that powerful men who are neutral are starting to support your rivals. Even some from your camps do so. They tell you it's because they are scared that you'll target them next. You only see it as betrayal. So you target them too. Because of this, paranoia soon becomes policy. You stop doing public walks in Rome. You retreat to your villas, high walls and higher cliffs between you and your enemies. Messengers bring you the news of the city, riots, trials, executions. You nod, sign, and drink your wine in silence. People call you a monster now, but the truth is simple. You're afraid, and in fear, you indulge. You turn punishments into sport involving dangerous animals. Banquets blur into parties dedicated to the god Bacchus, the god of wine and ecstasy. The parties always get wild. Historians will call it depravity. You call it a distraction. Anything to drown out the truth, that you're alone, that the empire only loves you when you bleed for it. Your couriers bow lower. Your statues shine brighter, but Rome itself grows colder. The people see you less and less. To them, you're already half a ghost, an ugly rumor haunting an island while others scheme for your throne. And you know the final irony. Rome is all you have, and it's killing you. You're 40 now, and Rome doesn't even pretend to like you anymore. The Senate sits in silence when you enter, and you can hear the scratching of styluses. Notes for your obituary written early. The Praetorians still salute, but their eyes linger too long on your back. You know what that means. Your banquets have grown quieter. Nothing pleases you anymore. The wine doesn't taste right. You watch your taster drink first, but still, your throat burns with every sip. You can't tell if it's poison or just paranoia. Either way, it chokes you. Whispers chase you through the marble halls. Pirate, madman, monster, maybe you are. But you learned the rule early. Mercy is weakness, and weakness is death. So you keep signing the decrees, keep feeding the delators, keep strangling Rome before it strangles you, and then the hammer falls. That general wins too much glory in the provinces. A senator makes one toast too loudly. A Praetorian forgets to look afraid in your presence. Suddenly, every shadow sharpens into a dagger. You're 41 when it happens. Another night in your villa. Another banquet that tastes like ash. The torches burn low. The air heavy with wine and whispers. You dismiss the musicians early. Their songs grate on you. Only the Praetorian Guard remains, stationed like marble statues in the hall. But statues don't watch you this closely. Statues don't shift their grip on their blades. Statues don't smile. The first hand clamps your shoulder, too firm to be respectful, too cold to be loyal. You open your mouth to speak, but the second hand is already at your throat. They throw you to the ground. Your crown tumbles, rolling useless across the tiles. You thrash, shout, curse them as cowards, but they don't answer. They've been trained well. They just pin you, each man heavier than the empire itself. Then the knives come. Small, clean, efficient. Not one glorious stroke, but a dozen patient betrayals. A blade finds your side. Hot pain blooms. Another nicks a rib. Breath sharpens into a gasp. You grab at a hand, at a tunic, at the marble beneath you. Everything slick with your own blood. You try to rise, you cannot. Your knees buckle. Your voice thins to a rasp. You taste iron. You see the torchlight flash on blades that used to salute you. The men you trusted, the men sworn to protect you, stand over you like executioners who've done a job well paid. You die not as an emperor, not as a god, not as Rome's master. You die knifed on your own floor, the purple cloaks sullied with your blood. They sheath their knives, adjust their helmets, and leave you there. You are the problem of the libidinarius now, which is just a fancy word for undertaker. The empire doesn't pause the more because before the year runs out, the new emperor is crowned. Military merit, the Senate says. The general gives a speech, condemns you as a tyrant. He elevates his supporters, pays the guards, and then tries to kill them all as fast as possible before history can repeat itself with him. Because in Rome, anything can be justified for the empire. So, congratulations. You ruled the greatest empire in history, but you couldn't even rule your own guards.